guys like you look at you, the way you carry yourself, that's a fighter. Like, you look at that guy's a dangerous motherfucker. But when you see Paddy, he's dancing like this, his hair is flopping around like he's in the Beatles. You know, he's like, he seems silly, but then he fucks people up. I think people
he fucks people up like Michael Chandler. When you walk in with a guy that has 10 losses, the level of confidence is completely different.
Deserving the shot. He was the interim champion, he essentially like changed the progression of Tony Ferguson's career. Like that one,
just by knocking him out,
just beat him down, man.
Yeah.
It was a brutal fight. And then, you know, I mean, he's got so many victories. He just beat Fazeev again after getting knocked out by Holloway. He's one of the best of the best. And, you know, he's fought for the title before. He fought Khabib. Like, he's really good, man.
Paddy Pimblett did come in the cage tonight. There's Arman Sarukian, there's Justin Gaethje. Is that the fight that you want more than anything else?
Yes, that's the fight that I want. With Charles, I had a little bit difficult situation because I really like the guy. He's an amazing human being. But at the end, I was like, this is competition. I have to do my job. But with Paddy, I'm really going to enjoy kicking his ass.
Joe Rogan described a potential showdown between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett as a massive fight, highlighting their brutal rivalry and unfinished business.
Shut up. If not, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to crush your face right here.
Do it then, you little fart.
You have another question?
Do it. Do it then, you little What? Do it. Do it. Come on, do something then. Do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing.
The level of competition at 155 has never been stronger, with so many competitive fighters in the division who are hungry, risky, and eager to prove a point. There are knockout artists, world-class technicians, undefeated champions, and battle-tested veterans, all chasing the same crown.
In the history of the sport.
And Volkanovski's currently the champ, so he is
now. He came back. But that's at 45, though.
Okay.
So he went up to 55. So Volkanovski's the champ because he abandoned the belt at 45 because he wanted to pursue the belt at 55. He didn't want to make weight at Ilia. Didn't want to make 145 anymore. So it felt like it's too draining for his body, and he'd be even better at 55. Turns out he was right. He's even better at 55. Like, Charles Oliveira's really good, man. Really good. For him to starch him like that with essentially one punch is extraordinary.
Ilia Topuria's next fight is bound to happen soon, and one extremely fun option is Paddy Pimblett. While he's not a title contender, his popularity and the prior feud between them make it an intriguing matchup that fans would love. It might not make the most sense as a title defense, but it could easily become the most hyped fight.
Ilia Topuria. You've had some words for him recently. You called him a little midget.
He called me fat. That's like, lad, you can't make your weight division anymore. He's a midget, lad. He's tiny.
It wasn't long ago you threw a hand sanitizer bottle at his head. There's still a bit of bad blood between you guys?
There's still always going to be bad blood just because we've seen him. I seen him the other week on stage and he was stood next to Hunter and I touched him down. That was because in the back, as he walked through, it was funny, all the security are like that. As he walked through, he just looked at me and went like that.
Paddy Pimblett expressed that Ilia Topuria has no respect for him, and he sees nothing wrong with saying that. The tension is starting to boil, and fans are beginning to wonder if this could turn into the next massive fight.
He's a very good all-round fighter, lad. That's one thing what I always say. Like, I respect him as a fighter, and he doesn't respect me. I genuinely think if he fought me, he wouldn't train as hard. He just thinks he'd beat me. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd put as much hard work and dedication into his fight camps. He's on a legendary run, lad. He's knocked fucking Volk, Holloway and Oliveira out 3 fights on the bounce, lad. That's an unbelievable last 3 fights. I still think he wouldn't have knocked Volk out if Volk didn't take the fight too quick, like after getting a kick by Islam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would kick him everywhere, like I am Steven Gerrard in 2005.
Ilia Topuria has taken over the lightweight division just as he previously claimed. After dominating the division, he now has his sights set on becoming a 3-division champion. Confident, fearless, and focused, Topuria isn't chasing belts, he's chasing legacy.
He called it, which is even crazier.
He said, I'm going to knock him out with one punch.
He's going to knock him out in the first round. And he had a celebration for his victory the night before the fight. So they went to a restaurant, he's standing on a bench, they're cheering.
That is cool.
It worked. I mean, listen, if you're that good.
And he's going to fight the Scouser? The Scouser kept saying, Scouser kept going, I want him. And then Nate's team are going like, he thinks he wants him, he doesn't want him.
It'll probably happen eventually because they hate each other and it'd be very marketable. I don't know if it's going to happen next.
This is my first year of following it. I'm starting that. My brother watches it a lot.
There's a lot of really good guys at 155, though.
For Ilia Topuria's next opponent, Joe Rogan is suggesting a legit warrior, someone who once competed against Khabib Nurmagomedov and stands as one of the most battle-tested fighters in the lightweight top 5. This matchup could be the perfect challenge for Ilia's title reign in the division.
If you wanted to do it according to like who deserves the shot, it would be, in my mind, it would be either Justin Gaethje, who is a very compelling argument for deserving the shot. He was the interim champion, he essentially like changed the progression of Tony Ferguson's career. Like that one,
just by knocking him out,
just beat him down, man.
Yeah.
It was a brutal, brutal fight. And then, you know, I mean, he's got so many victories. He just beat Fiziev again after getting knocked out by Holloway. He's one of the best of the best. And, you know, he's fought for the title before. He fought Khabib. Like, he's fucking really good, man.
Joe Rogan also brought up Arman Tsarukyan in the conversation, noting that he once stepped in as a replacement to face Ilia Topuria and is now set to fight Islam Makhachev. Rogan's list of contenders highlights just how stacked the lightweight division is, with fighters like Arman ready to take on the very best.
The other guy would be Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan was supposed to fight Islam for the title, but got a back injury, supposedly because of the weight cut. He had a particularly brutal weight cut, and his back locked up to the point where he couldn't even fucking move. And so they had to call the fight.
Yeah.
And so then they brought in Renato Moicano, and he fought for the title, like last-minute replacement. So Tsarukyan is elite. He's as good as it gets, and he could be a world champion. And so if I wanted to do it according to not marketability, but rather like who deserves it, it would be either Gaethje or Tsarukyan.
As opposed to the marketability.
I don't do that, man.
No.
That's the thing. It's like I'm not involved. I would not be the right guy for the business.
Yeah.
Because like I'm kind of a purist. I feel like if you're the number one contender, you get the shot. Like that's how I feel. But I also don't know if I agree who the number one contender is all the time. I think like that should be up for debate. Like it's very subjective, like who decides like what victories count for more, or who would be more compelling to fight for the title, who deserves it. Like some guys have to fight a ton of guys, and then other guys like Pereira, he got a shot at Adesanya like just a few fights in.
Meanwhile, Conor McGregor is clearly standing behind Paddy Pimblett, openly showing support and backing him against Ilia Topuria or anyone else. McGregor's presence brings massive star power to Paddy's corner and adds even more hype to what could become an even bigger potential clash.
The lightweight division is so fun. Back in England, we have Paddy Pimblett. I personally would love to see that fight. He's similar to you in that he's a polarizing figure. Love him or hate him, he brings it.
He's a good kid, Paddy. The Scousers, you gotta love the Scousers. You know, my father was born in Liverpool. One side of my family is from there. So I got a lot of love for that part of the world. And who knows, you know? I will never say no to nothing. You know what I mean? Never say never, as they say.
Ilia Topuria's punch is a brutal weapon. He called the disrespect toward him and his people absolutely unforgivable. In response to Paddy's jokes, Ilia delivered a brutally serious warning. If they ever crossed paths, Paddy would get hurt. This isn't hype, it's personal, and Ilia isn't messing around.
Disrespectful to me, to my country, to all my people, and he just behaved like a fucking idiot, you know? He started to talk about the war we had against Russia. He said something. Now I understand why the Russians put the bombs in Georgia, and many kids died in that war. Many people died in that war. When you start to joke about that kind of things, just make sure that we don't find each other anywhere, because I'm gonna take your head off. He wants to build his hype laughing on people, and that's not the way I'm looking to build a hype. Bro, I'm never looking for a problem, but if the problem comes to me, I say no problem.
Ilia Topuria threw some serious shade at Paddy Pimblett, saying that Paddy will need to find someone else to fight before he gets a shot at Ilia.
You mentioned you want to face Paddy next, obviously, if you do win the title this Saturday. You said that he needs one more fight. How big, obviously not to look past Charles, but how big do you think that fight could be given your history together?
That fight easily could be one of the biggest in the UFC history.
And with that one fight that you think that he should have, is there someone in the division that you think would make sense in terms of him winning that fight to get the title shot next?
So if he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's gonna beat him. So the easiest path he has right now to get the title shot is Justin.
Okay, thank you.
Stylistically.
If Paddy wants a real test, he needs to step up, because Ilia isn't waiting around. Justin Gaethje has openly said he would love nothing more than to put Ilia Topuria to sleep. Why? Because that's exactly what the highlight wants next. After possibly suffering the greatest knockout ever at the hands of Max Holloway at UFC 300 in 2024, Gaethje bounced back with a unanimous decision win over Rafael Fiziev last March. His victory at UFC 313 kept him atop Dana White's lightweight rankings, meaning the American had only one goal next. Gaethje told Austin Keane ahead of UFC 317, which was headlined by Topuria versus Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title. "I don't care who wins, I just want to fight the winner. Topuria is the big name right now, cocky. I'd love to knock him out. I don't give a fuck who wins, I hope one of them goes to sleep, and I fight the winner in November at Madison Square Garden." In the end, Gaethje's wish came true, as Topuria knocked out Oliveira before the halfway point of round 1 in their main event to become a 2-division UFC champion and the #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter. After knocking out UFC legends Alexander Volkanovski, Holloway, and Oliveira in succession, Gaethje is now interested in facing the Georgian-born Spanish fighter in his first defense of the lightweight title. Meanwhile, former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen weighed in on the perception surrounding Arman Tsarukyan's role as the official backup fighter for a UFC event. He pointed out that most people don't really understand what it means to be a backup fighter.
By the way, just so you understand how this all went down, and we've got Arman Tsarukyan, who weighed in. He was the backup fighter under contract, and he weighed in. Very relevant, because Arman told us he was the backup fighter. And Dana supported that. He said, yeah, Arman's the backup fighter. But there's been a little bit of a corruption of that term over the last 18 months, where a backup fighter, in my mind, must have a contract with the UFC. It calls for participation, which means he's going to be paid. Which he must be paid, because he's going to go through a training camp, and he's going to have managers and that have got to get paid. He then gets licensed, shows up after all the medicals and procedures, and steps on the scale. If you do all of those things, then for me, you're the backup. And that it's been a little bit corrupted, where the guy that will call in case, if something happens, the first guy who will turn to.
The Chael Sonnen, a true backup fighter, is someone with a signed UFC contract who completes a full fight camp, passes medicals, weighs in, and gets paid regardless of fighting. He believes the term has been misused lately to describe anyone the UFC might call without real commitment. Chael affirmed that Arman Tsarukyan met all these criteria and truly deserves the backup fighter title.
And I just wanted to find that because Arman was actually the backup fighter. Historically, every time, as a matter of fact, but one. Only one time, ever, has a backup fighter not then fought for the championship next. And I asked, how do we get to this point? Because see, when I see Paddy come in there against Ilia, everybody has to do, or everybody's held to a standard to do, what they're supposed to do. And what they're supposed to do is whatever they said they were going to do.
Chael Sonnen praised Ilia Topuria for being brave and honest in calling out Paddy Pimblett, regardless of the Oliveira fight. He said Paddy is just 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot. If Paddy beats Bobby Green next, he could face someone like Chandler soon, but Ilia's challenge might accelerate that timeline even more.
Ilia Topuria told everybody, my next fight will be against Paddy. And it doesn't matter if I win. If I lose to Charles, my next fight will be against Paddy. That's a very different call out. That's a very different challenge, because now you're really understanding his sincerity. And Paddy is at most 1 win away from a championship. In fact, I have always believed Paddy was 1 win away from a championship, that he would have 1 more fight, regardless of opponent.
Chael Sonnen noted that since Paddy Pimblett defeated Bobby Green, the lightweight division has shifted dramatically, especially with the title now vacant, pushing everyone up a level.
Always thought he'd kind of have like a Justin Gaethje-esque. That would bring, you know, Poiriers and Max Holloways into the world. It would bring them in. I kind of thought it'd be somebody like that. And this is the night that Paddy beats King Green. After Paddy beat King Green, I believed right there in that moment, he's got 2 more before he goes for the championship. So he had 1. That was Chandler. He's got 1 more. But I don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, that weight class is drastically different than it was the night that he fought King Green. For example, the champion of the weight class isn't even in the weight class anymore. Well, that moves everybody up a spot. Right there moves everybody up a spot. Then he gets his personal.
He confirmed the rivalry between Paddy and Ilia didn't start at the Mr. Hand Sanitizer backstage altercation, but when Paddy first signed with the UFC, someone from Ilia's team messaged Paddy on Twitter saying he didn't belong and would be packing his bag soon.
Are you clear where this came from? I spoke to Paddy after the fight, and I said to him, in my mind, you and Ilia met at the press conference or the backstage over there in England when the Mr. Hand Sanitizer, when that verbiage was born is the day that you guys met. And Paddy said, no, you don't have that right.
Ilia Topuria's feud with Paddy Pimblett began when Paddy allegedly disrespected Georgia, making jokes or comments implying support for Russia's bombing of the country. Ilia took offense and publicly addressed it, including on the Joe Rogan podcast, highlighting Paddy's remarks supporting Russian aggression.
Then Ilia goes on the Joe Rogan program. Joe Rogan has a podcast, and Ilia goes on it. And it's very big. It's a very big show. And Ilia retells that story. He says it again after the hand sanitizer. So now in Paddy's mind, you have no right. I didn't like you, and I had a huge problem with it, but you had room. I had a little room in my heart and mind to believe that you were talking trash that got out of hand. So I let you know, first off, I didn't say it in case there was a misunderstanding. Second, I let you know, do something else. That one bothers me. So Paddy's saying, so then when he does it after all of it, and he goes on the Joe Rogan program and says Paddy was happy that the Russians bombed the Jordans.
Paddy denied making such statements, but said he now hates Ilia because of the narrative. He claimed Ilia's camp trash-talked him after he signed with the UFC, saying he doesn't just want to knock Ilia out, but to hurt or disfigure him due to attacks on his character.
Paddy's like, it's gloves off, I hate him. Those are huge words. I hate him. Paddy said, I don't want to stop him in the first round. I don't want to stop him with the first punch. I want to stop him in the last second. After I elbow him in the head 700 times, I want to disfigure him. That's strong. I'm just telling you, that's strong. And it's a very real thing between them. I took the time to tell the story with the bombings. Just so you know, this wasn't just 2 guys talking hype, and this wasn't somebody that threw a hand sanitizer and nicknamed hand sanitizer. I thought it was. That's enough to have a feud with a guy. If you're the champion of the world and you're Ilia Topuria and you get nicknamed by a really popular guy and the nickname catches on, Mr. Hand Sanitizer, like, that, okay. In this game, that's good reason to fight. That actually would be a very good, very strong storyline.
Chael Sonnen noted that undefeated fighters Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria both want to face each other. The only obstacle is Arman Tsarukyan, who's also in the title mix. Paddy and Arman could both be next in line, but only one will get the shot first.
What do you do when you have 2 guys that want to fight? One of them's completely undefeated in the UFC. The other one's completely undefeated in his entire career. Why would you keep them apart? What would ever force you to keep them apart? And in this case, there's an answer. We already have a guy. His name is Arman Tsarukyan. I'm just here to remind everybody both statements can be true. Paddy the Baddy's next fight can be for the World Championship. Arman Tsarukyan's next fight can be for the World Championship. It would mean one has to wait. Now, common belief has always been whoever gets the title nod the other will default into Justin Gaethje. That's a great idea.
To keep it fair and still deliver the big fight fans want, Chael suggested having Paddy fight Ilia first, following the proper rankings while giving fans the matchup they're eager to see.
I'm just reminding you, Paddy's next fight could be for the world title. And so could Artem's. You just have a matter of who is Ilia's next fight. And if the match between the two you're trying to preserve is Ilia versus Paddy, if you're going to go in another direction because the rankings say you need to, and maybe you made a deal and you got to show an integrity to the sport, like there's very good argument for Artem. We're just sharing with you. If you're going in that direction, but you're trying to preserve Ilia versus Paddy, the only way to do it, where you could get both fights, where you could serve two masters, the only way to do it is to do Paddy first.
Ilia Topuria stands at the heart of the UFC's most electrifying division, the lightweight class. Undefeated and unstoppable so far, every win raises his star and the stakes. His next fight isn't just another match, it's a career-defining moment. Whether it's fan favorite Paddy Pimblett or the ruthless Arman Tsarukyan, Topuria's next step will shake the division and carry huge title implications. He's explosive, dangerous, and ready to change the lightweight landscape forever. Who should he face next? The showman Paddy or the assassin Arman? And can he keep his streak alive to claim the crown? If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe for more fight insights and bold predictions. Hit the notification bell and drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want to see take on Topuria? Stay tuned, stay hyped, and keep your guard up. Thanks for watching.